And we back at it again, but back to my question. Well, it was a very personal question, and I just have to ask, where can I get these pants?
Well,
I love these pants.
I'm glad you asked. Now, for a lot of people that don't know, I have my own clothing line.
Wow.
Okay, so to get these pants, you have to come through me, and it's at www.therealarthurrowland.com, and just click on the merchandise. Go right down to the bottom, and it'll pull up all the merchandise, and these pants will be one of them.
What's poppin'? It's your girl Rica, Nadine, aka NAE, period pool. And I don't even have my mug today because I'm so nervous about this interview. But you are joining into another episode of Sippin with NAE, period. This is season 4 if you're listening for radio. And for YouTube, honey, you already know what's popping. So without further ado, honey, like, I don't know if y'all see the vibe that's in the room, but I'm just extra excited. So we have none other than Miss Porsha Love in the place. I'm so excited. We in the ghetto, period. Period.
Yes, okay.
How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm doing great. I am grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm just feeling good. You know, God is good. No complaints. No complaints.
So I want to jump right into this. So I know a little bit about your background, but I don't know about if my viewers do. So can you tell us, how'd you get into music? How did you start this journey?
Well, I always rapped. I always had a gift of rapping. Since I was a young girl, like me and my brother would freestyle together. And I used to like rap in school and stuff like that. Before Christ, I rapped in clubs, and I created this song that was like the girl version of a popular song that was already local, and it went viral. Like, it took off. We got so many views on YouTube, and like DJs was calling us out, and it was all for, you know, it was secular music. So we was in clubs, we was doing stuff like that. And then when I turned 20, God saved me. And I'm like, dang, I can't rap no more because, you know, the rapping I used to do was like violent, you know?
Right.
So I'm like, this has nothing to do with Jesus. I cannot take this into the church. But I love God so much, and I wanted God so much that I was willing to sacrifice the one thing that I love the most, which was my music. Because I didn't know of Christian rap. So it wasn't until my first lady would always tell me, Porsha, just change partners, you know, just rap for God. And I'm thinking, like, woman, you're a little old, you know, like I respect you, but you have no idea, like
Right.
music that I used to do, like this is I don't know how to basically make it holy, you know.
Right.
But she was right and I was wrong. And it wasn't until I heard this one song called I'm Good by Tripley. And that was my first Christian rap song I ever heard. And I actually heard it on an accident. I was just stumbling across somebody's page on Tumblr when Tumblr was popping. And I heard it and I'm like, oh my God, this is Christian music. He talk about Jesus. So I just went on a whole spree of like finding out Lecrae, finding out Andy Mineo. I loved Andy Mineo. I was such an Andy Mineo fan. And ever since then, I just started rapping for God. I was in a group. A lot of people don't know that I used to be in 2 groups. So before I was a solo artist, I was in a group called Speak Life, you know, back in the day. I was in a group called Speak Life. Then she got married. So then I went solo. And that's how I became Porsha Love. And then I got into another group. And then now I'm back as a solo artist. So it's been a journey. You know, a lot of people think that I just started out, but no, I've been doing this for a minute.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. So I've been, you know, I've been a little bit of nosy, especially once my team was like, girl, we got the interview. I'm like, girl, bet. So I was being nosy, you know, going on your lives, you know, watching your videos and stuff like that. So I seen on your Instagram you have like an Instagram show like called Purity Talks. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're right.
But how did that get started?
Okay, well, I've always been a purity advocate. So in my city, people know me as Miss Purity Over Lust. So for years, I used to do rallies and conferences, just hosting purity conferences. And I would do it based on like panels, and it would be married couples that would talk to the singles, and they would encourage us on waiting. And, you know, I've been waiting on the Lord for a minute, you know, if you ask, then we'll get into that. But I've been waiting on God. You know what I'm saying? I've been waiting on God. So I'm like, I might as well encourage others who are waiting as well, you know. So when I moved, I'm from Detroit, but I just moved to Atlanta in November. So coming out here, I thought, okay, well, maybe my purity talks is, you know, it's over. But the Lord really spoke to me and said, he told me to tell my daughters about purity. So I'm like, okay, God, I'm gonna do it, you know. So he got me back on, you know, expressing my purity journey and encouraging others on their journey. So that's how it started. The purity talks just kept going.
I love it, especially during the pandemic. You know, all these pandemic babies coming out.
Girl,
this
out of
is
nowhere.
Perfect.
We're bored, okay?
Right.
What is there to do? I'm gonna need
Right.
Go to church.
I agree.
Online. Do something.
Okay. Okay, what is one thing that you wish your fans knew about you that they don't?
I wish my fans knew that I be scared. That, like, I'm brave. You know, I seem brave, but it's a lot of things that I do that I do scared. Like when I shoot videos or when I do performances, or, you know, I really have to like get in my mind and be like, okay, God, give me strength. Like, I'm nervous. Help me, be with me. You know, a lot of people just think, oh, she just show up and she ready. Like, no, I probably cried in the car before I got in here. You know, like you have no idea. Like, I really be nervous. So yeah, I'm a normal person, just like everybody else. A lot of people try to wait until they're no longer afraid to do things. But sometimes you have to jump scared. You know, sometimes you just have to go out there and do it, even when you are afraid. Don't wait until the feeling is gone, because you'll never do it. You know, some things you're going to always be afraid to do. That doesn't stop you from doing it. No, that's just say, okay, period. It's not my strength. It's the strength of the Lord. So I'm just going to do it anyways. So yeah, I'd be scared though.
Too, honey. I'd be like, they'd be like, come on. I'm like, honey, give me my tea, put on TD Jakes, and I'm good for a minute. Okay. And then the guest pops up, and I'm like, my palms start sweating.
I'm like, Lord. See, now, I love interviews. This is like, because I love to talk to people and stuff, so this is fun. But when I go and do like videos, or because it's awkward, you have to create the energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the energy that you see in the videos is created. It's not like it's a crowd behind them, like, oh yeah, know. Like they, you have to sell it to the audience that like, yeah, I love this song. This is a song that I'm into. So it can get a little awkward, especially if you're just meeting the videographer. Y'all ain't really cool like that. It's a brand new person with a camera in your face. So it get weird, or when you go on shows, you don't know how the crowd is gonna receive you. So it can get interesting, but you're doing good on this. So if this, this is your lane, sis. If you feel nervous about that, you good. You got it.
So a few weeks back we played your song Ghetto on our, because I have a reaction show as well. So
Okay.
where like we play videos and I'm like, my audience is more, well, on that show it's more older. So I'm like, okay, let me put this out there, because of course I love Ghetto.
Yeah.
So when I put it out there, everybody was inboxing me. They're like, how can I get in touch with her? I said, I'm not her booking manager. I'm none of this. They're like, where can we find her? Where can we do this? But when I first found out about you was when Lecrae, he shouted you out. He was like, the ex, who's your, favorite female, the interview. And he was like, I love with her ghetto sound. Porsha. And I was like, who is Porsha? So then that's when the song Ghetto came out. And I'm like, yo, like, who is this girl? And the confidence that you portrayed on the video was everything. You were next to two men. And of course, I always say this is a male dominant industry.
Absolutely.
But you stood and girl, you were powerful. I didn't even pay attention to them. So I'm like, who is she? Like,
thank you.
So I want to just, tell you that video inspired me to keep going. Pushing in these hard streets.
Yes, it's difficult, girl. Being a woman in a male-dominated industry, you have to be bold. Like, you have to be confident. You have to be confident in the God in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be confident in knowing, like, God got me here, and I cannot mess this up. Like, I have to deliver. Like, I have no choice but to deliver, because, you hear all eyes on you. It's like, either you gonna show up, or you know what I'm saying? Like, what you gonna do? So it's difficult, but that encouraged me so much by you saying that. So thank you.
That actually leads to my next question. What is one thing, or what are some things that you have faced, being a female artist in a male dominated industry that you have overcome?
Girl, where do I start? Okay. So it's like a bro code. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's actually this recently happened to me. But it's happened to me all over, like, throughout my career. It's definitely a bro code to where a lot of women are overlooked. Even if they're talented and they're great and they're amazing, it's kind of hard for women in Christian rap, especially, to find our voice. Because it's like, so say if a guy has a show and he is thinking about booking his friends on the show, he's having a release party or any type of concert or tour or whatever. Like, just because he's a guy, a lot of times they automatically think to book their friends, and most of their friends are male. Like, even if a girl is popping and she's popular and she's great and she loves the Lord and she's anointed, whatever, they're gonna go for their friends by default, because it's like a bro code, So it's kind of like you just have to continue to prove yourself. Women in music, we have to work twice as hard just to be considered equal. We have to grind. We have to get it. We have to stay looking cute. We gotta, make sure we're not too sexual. Make sure we're not being compared to like Megan Thee Stallion or, Cardi B, which I love Megan, but that's neither here nor there. I just love her personality and who she is. But, as far as being a Christian, we can't talk about what she's talking about. We talk about our lifestyle and the things that we live and the things that we do. So we have to be conscious of, just making sure that we are appropriating. It's just a lot, especially already rapping. And then I'm a woman. It's like, it's just layers on top of layers on top of layers. Yeah, so it's difficult, but I'm grateful that God is allowing people to wake up and see, like, if you really was to get a woman on your team, that would be the gold for you. Like, that would be the winning bag for you. Like, because women can sell out shows. Women in the music industry right now are dominating. And I feel like a lot of labels are just now noticing that. And Christian rap is always behind regular music, so it's like now Christian rap is kind of like catching up. They're like, okay, we're gonna sign women, we're gonna support women, we're gonna so I don't know, it's difficult. It's so difficult. it's just all around. It's a bro code, and you got to prove yourself. And even if you hot, even if you don't, you know, some people will just pick the guy just because that's they bro, or just because a lot of men care about what other men think. But that's another conversation.
Right.
But you know, it's like, so they're like, oh, if I get this dude on there, you know, oh, I look like the man, or I, you know what I'm saying? Versus like, oh, let me get Porsha love, you know, or let me get a whoever. So it's difficult. I would just say to any woman that's in any male-dominated industry, remember what God told you. You feel me? If God called you to this, he's going to elevate you. Even if you don't feel accepted, even if you don't feel like people are backing you who are in high places, don't allow them to be the standard. Like, God is the standard, and your music and your gift will make room for you. So just keep going. Just keep going.
That, like I said before, you are a big inspiration. I talk about women rappers all the time. I feel like that's like my little cause, like female rappers. Like before I had Angie Rose on here, and like I was like, yes, girl, like come on, like keep pushing. Cause you know, like you see women in rap, but once they like, it's like before they about to hit, you know, viral, that's when they stop. Or they be like, oh, let me have me and my husband. We don't want to see you and your husband, sis. We want to see you.
Ma'am, are you a prophet? Are you a prophet? It's the gift there. I mean, I'm just saying, because go ahead.
I'm so weak. But even I was watching a video the other day, and I was like, sometimes women feel because it's a man dominant industry, oh, you know, I have to come on there with the baggy shorts, and you don't have to be man like. You can be feminine. You can be
and that's the total opposite of me. Like, I'm so girly that people, like, I can't help it. You know, like it's just me. You know, I like pink, I like glitter, I like you know, I just can't help it. Even my mom growing up, she used to try to teach me how to play softball and stuff, and I would be scared. Like, I'm just girly. Like, I just can't help it. So you have to be you. You have to be yourself, and not, you know, just be you, like you said. Right. You have to.
So my next question is, what is one thing that you've learned during this pandemic? Are we still in the pandemic? That's the question I really...
Girl.
But
what's today? What I don't know. The days is mixed together. They just Girl, what have I learned? Oh, I have learned so much. Okay, so actually moving out here to Atlanta, everything is open. You forget that we even in America. Atlanta is just its own little town. You know? Like, everybody, some people wear their mask, some people don't. You forget it's a pandemic. I literally was out yesterday getting ice cream, and only like a handful of people had their mask on, including myself. I didn't have my mask on because I left it because I forgot that we were in a pandemic. So it's just so weird. What I've learned during this pandemic is, when it first started, I was so depressed. Like, when the pandemic first started and when we first got locked down, my birthday is in March. So the first week of March, my birthday is March 11th. So around that time, we wasn't locked down yet. Like, we didn't get locked down until like the week after my birthday, which was like, hallelujah, you know, I was able to still celebrate it. But right after that, I got so depressed, and because I wasn't doing anything. I'm the type of person where I'm used to doing, like, okay, what's next? Let's do this, let's do that. I'm a planner. I like to plan and execute. But we really was all in a standstill, and it was really nothing for us to do. And God showed me that I based my worth off of my works. And he said, you know, you are not what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, your worth is not based off of how many works you can put in and what you can accomplish or being successful. You know, your worth is just simply in me. You know, you are worthy because I am in you, and because I said that you are. You know, you are worthy just being who you are. And it took me time to grasp that and realize, like, dang, you know, I'm really stuck in a place where it's like, I can't do nothing. I gotta just sit at the house, you know, and I just, you know, I really had to just be at a place of peace and just a standstill and consecration. Really, we was just like consecrating ourselves. But yeah, it really showed me to separate my worth from my works. And if I'm not in the studio, and if I'm not creating music, and if I'm not, you know what I'm saying, doing the normal thing that I would do, you know, as far as putting in work and grinding, I'm still worthy. I'm still worth it. So that's definitely what I learned.